There's been an ongoing rumor for a number of years now that there are missing books of the Bible, and that the Holy Scriptures we now have in our possession is not fully complete. Now, the Book of Enoch is one of these books that is getting a lot of attention, and there are many who are fascinated and strangely intrigued by its content. Joe Rogan, the online influencer, promotes it. Self-proclaimed esoteric historian Bill Carson promotes it, and ufologist Eric von Daniken also believes it is a book that should be read and studied. Now, the narrator never ever thought in all of his life that he would have to address it. But who are its earliest adherents? In a book titled ISIS Unveiled, Volume 2, the 19th century Russian spirit-guided mystic Madame Helena Petrovna Blavatsky was rooting for it to be promoted in the churches. And she said, quote, "For the Jews, the Book of Enoch is as canonical as the Mosaic books." Not sure how true that is. "And if the Christians," she said, "accepted the latter as authority, we should not see why they should reject the former as Apocrypha." There is a definite red flag when a woman who was led by unclean spirits is advising the churches to read the Book of Enoch. But famous influencers like Michael Knowles is entertaining it. But he is not the first Roman Catholic to do so. It is within the papal tradition. For in a book titled Disputation on the Holy Scriptures, this thick volume has helped the narrator to understand the background of so many issues within inside of the church. And William Whitaker says, quote, "Thomas Aquinas, however, in his commentary upon Jude, says that it is lawful to desire a testimony in the truth from an apocryphal book, since Jude the Apostle hath cited a passage from the Apocryphal Book of Enoch, verse 14. But did he quote that book? But although I by no means deny that it is just as much lawful to quote a passage from an apocryphal book as from a profane author, as the Apostle Paul cites an ambianic line from Meander in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33, a hemistic from Aratus in Acts chapter 17 and verse 28, and an heroic verse from Epimendes the Cretan in Titus chapter 1 and verse 12. Yet I do not think that this passage which Jude recites is taken from an apocryphal book, because Jude uses the term "he prophesied." Yep. Consequently, hath adduced this is a prophetical testimony, unless perhaps he used the word prophet here in the same sense as the Apostle Paul, when he called Epimendes a prophet, though indeed he does not style him a prophet simply, but specifically a prophet of the Cretans. So if both Madame Blavatsky and Thomas Aquinas recommend this book for the churches, then you know that it is definitely dodgy and suspect. But with this modern generation's keen interest and fascination with angels, and the Book of Enoch literally being the foundation of people's fascination with the Nephilim, what does this book actually teach and promote?